bidding farewell to a loved one with honor and dignity. For 67 years, Graves Funeral Home on Norfolk's storied Church Street has been a pillar in the African American community. Regina Mobley joins us now with more as we honor black business leaders for our early start to Black History Month. Regina?
Well, Tom, we take you back to the Jim Crow era of Norfolk when a former decorated soldier decided to open a funeral home. Over the years, two disasters from two different generations, it dramatically changed this proud family-owned business. Block after block, the Church Street of today has few images that harken back to the glory days of what was the business and social scene for the black community in Norfolk after World War II.
Was booming. You had a hotel where people could stay, movie theaters. You didn't have to go off Church Street. You had grocery stores. You didn't have to go anywhere.
The Attucks Theater bookends the south end, while Graves Funeral Home bookends the north. This is the original Graves building, erected in 1953. Family members say a local bank told Tom Graves it would loan him $22,000 for construction, but
when it came time to consummate the loan, they reneged on it.
A North Carolina-based insurance company stepped in and funded the construction.
We were the first black funeral home ever designed and built from scratch up to serve the African American community.
It was a nice concept and building, but 6 other funeral homes were also on Church Street. Business was slow, so family members had to pitch in.
They supported us for 2 years, plus I was working and I contributed.
Then there was a sea change. Family members say in 1955, a boating disaster in the Chesapeake Bay changed the course of history for Graves Funeral Home. In the middle of the night, Tom Graves got the call to handle the remains of the blacks who died.
My father was a benefactor of every African American who died on that boat. And from that point forward, the business has never looked back.
By 1991, Tom Graves needed to expand, so once again, he turned to a local bank, and once again, the loan was denied. Tom Graves died on January 13, 2017. Former NFL player Tommy and his sons Thomas IV and Jason Graves now operate the business that is dealing with a disaster of another kind. In July 2020, they handled the remains of 10 people who died from the coronavirus. The January death toll could eclipse the summer's peak. Lorraine, a former professional ballet dancer, is Tom and Mildred's daughter.
It's quite scary. We're not out of the woods with this. Hopefully, with this new administration that's coming in, that we really will start to see some light at the end of the tunnel.
It's unfortunate that the country is dealing with this, but again, we have to deal with it. And we have to deal with it in a manner that we can still serve our families with professionalism.
Thomas IV has a message for Thomas V and his brother Aston.
And to know that he comes from, a long line of people that put themselves on the line to pave the way for him to have something.
The Graves legacy also includes politics. Tom and Mildred, who is now 101 years old, played a role in the 1968 election of Joe Jordan as Norfolk's first black city councilman. Daughter-in-law Angela Williams Graves served on city council and is now a new member of the General Assembly. Regina Mobley, 10 on your side.